All right, this first one here, I take -2, 3, and move it to polar. All right, so you guys know this is x, y, but when I go polar, I need it into r theta. So real quick review, because this, again, will lead into today's stuff. What quadrant am I in? Second quadrant, -2, +3. Do you remember how to find the r value? Because I want to go over that real quick.
Add 2 pi.
No.
180.
No. Just stop.
Never mind.
Here's a little hint. There's your r.
Right. Toa.
Make a right triangle out of it, right?
A squared plus b squared.
And then do Pythagorean theorem. Your x plus your y squared equals your r squared. All right. Did they change the time for 7th period? I don't know.
They go outside.
All good here?
Project adventure. Turn the trees.
And then if you wanted to find, all right, can I just get through this, please? It'd be great.
Sorry.
And then how did I find the angle?
Tangent.
I used tangent, inverse tangent. All right, this is going to come into play again, finding that r value using x squared plus y squared. All right, so there's one piece on the quiz. This piece here, turn this into a polar. This is what we did, let's see, Thursday and Wednesday last week. Anytime you see an x, what did we plug in? R cosine theta. And anytime we saw a y, we would plug in r sine theta. You're going to need those two again today. Okay, we're going to need those two again. And then I'm not going to go, I'll do more of it on Wednesday when we actually do a full scale review, but I wanted to bring up those two substitutions right now. So at the top of your page today, let's list out the 3 substitutions that we are going to need here, because we're going to go backwards. Here's a polar. What would it be with all the x's and y's? So the first one I went over today is r squared equals x squared plus, that's the Pythagorean theorem. All right, but just using an r instead. R cosine theta, same thing as what? X. R sine theta, same thing as y. Get out your Chromebooks. Get out your Chromebooks. Tomorrow I'm going to have you check before you call me over, but I won't allow you to use it on Thursday's quiz, though. All right, check. I have something else for you that make things easier on Thursday. Open up 2 tabs, 2 Desmos tabs, DES, MOS. First tab, make sure it's a rectangle on there for me. Make sure it's a rectangular grid. Open up a second tab, and anybody that's been here a while, remember how to put it into polar? How do I change your rectangular to polar on your second tab? We hit that wrench right here on the right-hand side. Make sure the polar one is in green. Tap it, and it should change. All right, so go ahead. Question number 1 is r equals 8. Type it into your polar. See what we should end up with. R equals 8. Type it in. R equals 8. What are we seeing on your screen? Big circle, right? Going out to 8s. So when you guys give me the XY version right now, we go over the rectangular, I should see a big circle going out to 8. All right, so how do I end up with that? Are we okay? First thing, I want to make sure it's the direct. I know you guys know the process, but it's the directions. This is in what form right now? Polar. I'm looking for rectangular now, which is x and y's only. I don't want an r in your answer. I don't want a theta, cosine, or sine in your answer. I want x's and y's only, so I can go back and graph it on this grid to see if it's a circle. That's what I need your help with. Turn this polar one into x's and y's only. First question I have for you. Any of these substitutions that I can automatically plug in? Is anything up there just r equals? Just r equals? No. So I just can't substitute in right now. But can I make it look like r squared? Can you do something to it algebraically that makes it look like r squared? What can you do to both sides? All right, square it. R squared equals 64. Is there something to plug in for r squared?
Yeah.
All right, let's plug it in then. What are you plugging in for r squared? What are we plugging in for r squared? What do we have up here? We wrote 3 of them. Which one's equal to r squared? What substitution? X squared plus y squared equals 64. And I know the first, the question that comes up is, how far do I have to keep doing this until I'm done? Look at what I have. Is it just x and y's? My equation, x squared plus y squared equals 64. Is it just x and y's? Are there any r's? Any sines? Any cosines? Thetas? We're done. That is r equals 8 in our rectangular form. If you don't believe me, let's go. Go. Go back to your rectangular grid. How do you type in the squared? Here you go. X. Everyone see number 6. You got the caret button there. Shift 6. Squared. Then I think most of you guys will probably have to hit the right arrow to get back down. Plus y. Shift 6. Squared. Equals 64. But there we go. Same circles?
Yep.
Okay. That's when you know you're done and you have it in the rectangular form. All x's and y's. No thetas, no r's, no sines or cosines. There's the rectangular version. Any issues? Go in. Before I move on, we got some tough ones coming up. All right, clear your polar grid. Type in 7 equals r cosine theta. Let me know what I should end up with. Clear out your polar grid on number 1. Clear out your polar grid. Type in 7 r cosine. We remember the deal with theta, or we have got to review that? If you want to type theta into Desmos.
Yeah, I don't know.
7 equals, type it in, 7 equals r cosine. Give me a parenthesis. Give me a parenthesis. Then you type in the word theta. T-H-E-T-A. 7 equals r cosine, parenthesis, T-H-E-T-A. And what do you guys end up with? A vertical line going through 7, right? Okay. So let's see if we can get that when we turn it into xy's. Look at where it is right now. Can you substitute anything in immediately? Look at it. 7 equals r cosine theta. Is there anything that lights up right now that you can substitute right now without playing around with either side? You can substitute in what? R cosine theta. R cosine theta. Replace it with a what?
7 equals r cosine theta.
That's what it says.
Oh.
What am I replacing with r cosine theta?
X.
Thank you. X. Do you think I need to go further?
No.
Not because it took one step. Don't think that.
No.
Are there any r's, cosines, thetas?
No.
Okay, so sometimes we'll be able to substitute in right away. We're done. Sometimes here, no go. All right, that's what I need you to check for first. Can I substitute in right now? Here, the answer was yes. Number 1, the answer was no. And go back to your rectangular grid real quick. X equals 7. Do I get a vertical line? We get a vertical line?
Yeah.
All right. So sometimes it'll just be as easy as substitute in and we're done. Not that many times, though. Okay, anything, because I really got to slow it down now for the next one. Anything. Okay, while you're waiting, type it in. Type number 3 into your polar grid. Type number 3 into your polar grid. Let's see what everyone comes up with. Get a nice tiny circle on this one. Okay. All right, we get a nice little tiny circle. Let's try to get it back. Look at what the original says. R equals cosine theta. Is there anything you can substitute in?
No.
Anything I could substitute in right now? No, I can't. This is not the last problem where it's one substitution. That's it. I cannot substitute any of these 3 in right now. So I know what you're thinking right now. From number 1, what did we do with number 1? Square it. Don't do it on your paper. I'm okay with the left side. I got something for that. R squared. But if you square the left side, the right side, am I going to get X's and Y's back? No. So squaring's not going to be the option here. Sometimes it works, like number 1, and sometimes here it doesn't. So I need to come up with something else right now to do to each side so I can substitute in and I'll just be left with X's and Y's. This is why it's going to be a challenge now, because I don't want to give this away. Squaring's not going to cut it. We said that. Squaring's not going to cut it. Is there anything else I could do to the left and the right that I could substitute in immediately and have X's and Y's? You got this. Dig deep. You got this. Oh, Ryan?
Subtract R.
What could I plug in then? If I go subtract R, I get cosine minus R, right? You tried, though. You tried.
Wait, so you're just trying to get Y?
No. I'm trying to get something on the left I can substitute in with, and something on the right I can substitute in with. Like if you square both sides, yes, I can substitute in this to the left, but I'm not substituting anything into that. Right? I'm not substituting anything into that.
Oh, just move the O. Never mind. Oh, multiply by R. What if you just multiply both sides by? Nope.
What if I multiply both sides by R?
That's stupid.
Stop. What if I multiply both sides by R?
Don't listen to me.
You got 2 R's.
That's not 2R.
R squared?
That's what?
R squared.
That's R squared.
Are you actually kidding me?
Blind squirrels find acorns once in a while. And what happens if you multiply? If you multiply by R there, what happens?
I'm so brilliant. R cosine. I'm speechless.
This is what? No. Just before you substitute in, what is it? R cosine. You got something to plug in on the left? R squared for R squared? You got something to plug in on the right for R cosine theta? Okay. So if squaring doesn't do it, let's multiply both sides by R. I'm not confident yet. What are you plugging in for R squared? X squared plus Y squared. And on the right side? X. No more signs. Everyone says, is that it? Is it all just X's and Y's? Yes.
How does that become X?
Is it really
Is equal to X. So I just substitute in X. And look at your rectangular. No. Type it in. See if you get the same small circle. Anything you want to ask, or can we move on? So far, what have been our different options? Squaring both sides on number 1. If that doesn't work, multiply both sides by R. Now, what if both those don't work? All right, what else do I have that I could possibly still do? Let's look at 4. Type it in. Don't even worry about it. Just type it in. Type it in. 4. Come on, and don't behave like you've never seen those 3 letters next to each other before either. Okay? It's cosecant. Yes, it's cosecant. Let's pretend like we've seen those before. Anybody plugging it into the polar?
Yeah.
What do we got? Horizontal line. Here we go. Let's get something else that's going to be a horizontal line. All right, first thing. No shot I'm dealing with cosecant. There's nothing even resembling cosecant. So if you go to the front of your packet, that's why I gave you what I give you there? A review. What cosecant was equal to? 1 over sine. And why do I want 1 over sine? Because my rules have sine in it. Okay? So let's go back. Before I do anything, let's just rewrite this. R equals 4 times 1 over sine. That's a little dirty right there. I'd like to clean that up into 1 fraction if possible.
4 sine.
R equals, now remember this is over 1. Numerator times numerator.
4 over sine.
Denominator times denominator. Sine theta. All right, we cleaned it up. Good. So we're good now. We're ready to roll. Can I substitute in right now?
Nope.
Nope. Good job. Good job. Now let's keep going down the list. Do you think I want to square both sides? Would that be helpful?
No.
I don't think so.
It would be on the left. Wouldn't it be helpful on the left? I'd get r squared. I can plug in something for r squared, but what's the problem? The right side, hot mess, right? On the right side. Hot mess on the right side if I tried to square. What did we just try to do last problem? Multiply both sides by? Okay. If I did that, left side would be taken care of.
I think it's the third one.
Right side, is that going to help me multiply the right side by r? No, because the sine theta is not going to go anywhere. So here, we're stuck. We're stuck. So I got to figure out something else I can dig with here. So I can substitute in something on the left and maybe something on the right. I just don't want to be left with sine thetas. I don't want to be left with the sine theta or the r's. What? You're getting there.
Can you just multiply by sine theta? Yeah, just multiply by sine.
Go ahead, Ryan. If I cross multiply, what do I get here? What do you get there? You cross multiply here. R sine theta. And what do we get on the right side? 4. Now I know someone, well, you can't substitute in for the 4. Okay. Is it an R?
Yeah.
Is it a cosine? Is it a theta? No, it's just a number, so that's fine. Okay. Let's finish this off. R sine theta, what's your substitution?
But that's the same thing as. Couldn't you have just known that?
You could have, but I need to see how you got there.
What are you saying? No, the broad thing. Stick the eyebrows off. No, you're not.
Before we get to the last one, there's no more methods I'm showing you. You either square it, multiply both sides by r, or cross multiply. That's it. If you can't do that, I've given you one way too hard. All right, we're ready for the final one so we can use one of these methods. Type it in. Here you go. Type it in. Type it in your polar. Let's see what you got.
Wait.
Type it in your polar.
Just do it. Just do it. Just do it.
Type it in your polar. Let's see what the graph should look like.
I know, but I'm just gonna watch it after school. I already missed. Okay, I got it. It's a sprinkle.
Mr. Adams was yelling at me for my detective fiction grade.
Circles?
Yes.
We got a circle here again?
Yeah.
All right, let's see what you got in you. First of all, can I substitute in right now? Anything?
No.
Is there anything I can substitute in?
No.
Nope, I don't see r squared, I don't see r cosine, and I don't see r sine, so nothing to substitute in. All right, first thing we did today was let's square both sides. Squaring both sides, would that help me out?
No.
It would help me out on the right, but if I tried to square that left side, oh boy, no thank you. We're not getting rid of anything.
Just multiply by r.
All right, that's out.
Can we just substitute now?
What?
No.
What are you going to substitute in for now?
Never mind, I lied.
Can you multiply by
All right, hey, r squared's out. Everyone agrees?
Yeah.
Or squaring both sides is out. What's our next option?
Multiply by r.
Multiply by r on both sides.
I think that works.
What do you think?
You get r squared. You get r sine theta. Yeah, that works because you get r sine theta.
Okay, what do you think? Multiply both sides by r. We know that side's good. The right side's going to work. How's this left side looking?
It's going to be like 8r cosine.
This is just going to be 8r cosine theta.
Yeah.
8r cosine theta plus
Plus 2r sine.
2r sine theta. What's up, Alexa?
I don't know.
Go ahead. Remember, you're multiplying these two, right? So if you want to put the r in front, after the 8, after the cosine, but if I put it right here, look familiar,
Oh, look at this.
right?
8
And then the same thing here. 2, let's put the r in the middle there, sine. Now this looks familiar.
8x plus 2y.
All right, do your substitution now. 8. What do you got for r cosine theta? X plus 2y
Yeah, I did not put it in
equals x squared plus y squared.
Oh.
Any more r's, thetas, sines, cosines? Nope.
So I'm confused. Oh, never mind.
Did you?
You missed my shiny.
Square them.
She did.
Multiply both sides by r or cross multiply. Those are your only options to get it into rectangular now. Those are your only 3 options.
Nice long time to figure this out, Jenna.
All right. Questions there?
Yeah.
All right. That's it. Thursday's the quiz. Wednesday, big review. Tomorrow you'll practice. Wednesday, big review. Thursday, quiz.